Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be telling you all about my favorite YouTubers. So I figured that because a lot of my viewers at this point are friends and family who've probably heard about my channel on social media, I know that there are many of you who aren't regular viewers of YouTube. I wanted to tell you about who I enjoy watching in case you were interested in checking out some new content on YouTube. I spend more time watching YouTube than any other type of streaming content, and I think that's because, especially during the pandemic, it's been really fun to get a glimpse into other people's lives. There's a variety of channels that I enjoy watching, and it ranges anywhere from beauty content, like a lot of the beauty influencers that I originally started following back when I began watching YouTube. Since then, I've expanded the type of channels that I like to watch to cover a whole bunch of different types of content. So I wanted to tell you today about those people. So I'm not going to put these in any particular order, but I do want to highlight one person at the top of my list who I would credit with being the person who inspired me the most to actually start my YouTube channel. So her name is Beatrice Caruso, and her channel is all about her journey to lose 100 pounds. Although that channel content is so different from what I am trying to make on my channel, I do really feel inspired by her and her work because she is so authentic, she's so funny, her content is so real and raw, and her editing is amazing. It's natural and it's real, and you can tell that it's not put on for the camera. And I also love the fact that I started following her when she only had a couple thousand subscribers, and she's now up to 300,000 followers, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's all because people love her content. It goes to show that being vulnerable in your content can really go a long way in showing people who you really are and helping connect with people that want to watch your content. She's also hilarious. Like, I laugh out loud all the time at her videos because she's just so funny, and she's so good at really showing her actual personality on camera, which I'll admit is something I'm still trying to figure out how to do because it's just a bit unnatural to be sitting here talking to a lens and not to an actual person. If you're interested in checking out Bea, her content is about her journey on weight loss, but I do find that it goes beyond that. You know, we're getting a glimpse into her life. She just bought a new house, which is amazing, and I think she credits a lot of her ability to purchase that house on her new sort of income stream of YouTube. And also, I think that her content is relatable because honestly, like, I don't think I know very many people at the moment who don't have some aspiration to lose weight or to get healthier. And I'm not currently on that journey right now just because I have so much else going on. I'm trying to focus on other things, but I know I've felt that way in the past, and it's just nice to hear it from somebody else who's going through it and to be inspired. She's creating a lot of content, testing out different methods on nutrition and exercise, and it's just really funny and fun to watch, and I appreciate that she kind of bears it all, so to speak, and she posts her progress reports, and she posts before and after photos and check-ins and stuff. It's getting more common, but still not common enough that we're seeing real bodies and real people and real stories more in like mainstream media about people that are having their struggles, and they're showing what their real bodies actually look like. And it's comforting because for so long our media only showed these perfect size 2 fitness model bodies, and I really enjoy seeing the other side of that, because certainly that's not what my body looks like, and I know that that's not what most bodies look like. So check her out. I'll have her channel linked in the description box below, along with all the other channels that I'm talking about today. So the next channel I want to feature is Lee Duggan. I believe Duggan is how her name is pronounced, but don't quote me on that. And her channel is night and day different from just about everybody else on my list. Hannah is living a very I don't know how I would describe it, a very unique lifestyle that is so different from my life. She owns a cabin in the woods in, I believe it's Minnesota, and fixed up that cabin over the summer and lived there until about a month ago, I would say. And then she got in her van, which is built out by herself to be livable, and she's now traveling through other parts of the state seeking out warmer weather. And I just love her style. I find her videos so incredibly relaxing and joyful. She's somebody who's now, because of YouTube, been able to make that her full-time career, and that's given her the financial freedom and the time flexibility to, I guess, live her best life, so to speak. So she's been traveling around the US. She just picked up a friend somewhere around the southern states, and they're traveling together now temporarily in her van. And her music is beautiful, her videos are very well produced, and she just kind of documents what her life is like living alone in the woods and fixing up her cabin and then traveling around in her van. I haven't watched her channel for very long, so I'm definitely a newer subscriber of hers, but I know she's been on YouTube for quite a while, and there's quite a back catalog that you can check out. If you start with the video that I'll link below and then work your way forward, if you wanted to really like get to know who she is as a person, it starts off with talking about how she got her cabin, which she bought I think in around like July, and then going forward how she's fixing up the cabin, and then going through living there alone and getting into the winter and trying to maintain that, and then deciding it was time to pack up and move back into her van and move south to a warmer place. It's just really fun to watch, and she's so happy all the time and very smiley, and it's just very relaxing, so highly suggest watching her channel. The next person on my list is Jessica Braun, and she actually falls under what I would say a beauty influencer channel, but I find her content is so much more than that. She did what is called Vlogmas, and I don't know if many of you would be familiar with that if you don't regularly watch YouTube, but it's a kind of a challenge that a lot of people partake in every December, where they vlog every day for the month of December. Jessica and her husband are both YouTubers. Her husband is TylerTravelsTV, which I'll also link below. Throughout the year, they post weekly vlogs on his channel, and on her channel, she posts the occasional vlog, as well as the Vlogmas vlogs they were swapping every second day would be on her channel and on her husband's channel. And I just really enjoy them. They're fun people. They live a really fun life, and they have a 2-year-old daughter, so it's like being a little fly on the wall in somebody's life. And I realize that with vlogging, they're displaying the parts of their life that they want to show. I try to remember that when I'm watching any kind of vlogs, that it's a slice of life. It's not somebody's entire life. It's not showing like the good, the bad, the ugly. It's showing the parts that they want you to see. But regardless, I do think that by doing Vlogmas especially, I got really engaged in her life, and I almost felt like she was a family member or a friend, because I was seeing what was going on in their lives every day for a month, and I really, really enjoyed that. So I love Jessica. I love her beauty reviews. She does awesome content on beauty, and I love that she's not a professional makeup artist, so her recommendations for beauty are based on her day-to-day use and the things that she enjoys for her skin type, her skin tone, and you know, all the things that she enjoys. I think she comes at it from an even more down-to-earth perspective, so she does wear a full face of makeup most days. Jessica likes makeup that's more on the natural side, so it's the type of style that I actually gravitate towards as well. And so I just really enjoy her reviews. She also does a lot of lifestyle content, so she'll talk about Amazon favorites, things she's purchased for around her home, life hacks, all different kinds of things. I just really enjoy her. I vibe with her, and I think she's down to earth, and her family is adorable. My next choice is also in the beauty community, and her name is RawBeautyKristi. It's different than Jessica in the sense that she does more straight up beauty content, or at least she used to. Her content was very focused on beauty. Kristi is just the most sweet person, and she does a lot of get ready with me videos, which I love, because they're like basically her sitting down doing her makeup and talking about her life. And she's so honest and so straightforward with her opinions, but like also really caring and considerate, and she's conscious of social issues. And like, as far as people in the beauty community go, I would say she's extremely unproblematic, so to speak. The YouTube beauty community's really been through it in the last few years, with a lot of controversy and drama, and like just people that weren't good. I feel like Kristi's one of those people. She just hit 1 million subscribers like at some point in the fall, and that was after being on YouTube for something like 8 years on her channel. And then last year, after the pandemic hit, she announced that she was pregnant. And it was really, really a joyous time, because Kristi actually went through 10 plus years of infertility. So her and her husband had been trying for a baby for many years. They had tried IVF and every other method to get pregnant, and it was basically determined that because of her PCOS, she just wasn't going to be able to conceive a baby. And so they kind of gave up on that dream and moved on with their lives. And then completely out of nowhere, in March, she found out she was pregnant. So this entire year of content has been some beauty content, but also largely focusing on her new pregnancy journey. And she's been taking a bit of a break from her YouTube channel now that she has her little baby boy that was born in December. Her content was so fun to watch, and I find her really, really funny. So definitely one to check out if you have any interest in makeup. Her makeup style is a little bit different than mine, but it doesn't even matter because I just appreciate the artistry, and she's actually a really amazing makeup artist. So yeah, check her out. So the next choice on the list is Hyram, and Hyram is someone that I've been watching for probably over a year now, and his expertise is in skincare. So ever since I started wearing a lot more makeup, and that kind of came about after I started watching a lot more beauty content on YouTube and learning more about makeup, I was wearing a lot more, and then I found that my skin was suffering because I wasn't taking care of it. Somehow I found Hiram, and he was still a bit on the smaller side, and he's since blown up. He's like over 3 million subscribers, I think, the last that I noticed. He is so knowledgeable about skincare, and I've taken so much of my skincare advice from him, and I find it really helpful to watch his videos and learn about what's the best option for me to take care of my skin, and reviewing products that are actually good and not wasting money. So if you have any interest in looking after your skin, Hiram has a Skincare 101 series, which I'll link below, and that's like a great place to start to learn more about the basics of skincare. And then he also has tons of videos reviewing different skincare brands, talking about his favorite products in each category, and also content talking about different skin concerns that people have and recommending products for that. Hiram's also really funny, and he's so socially conscious, and I love that his focus is highly on sustainability and eco-friendly practices, companies that are good for the environment, sustainable packaging, products that aren't going to be damaging to marine life, because he also lives in Hawaii, so he's very conscious about taking care of the ocean and conscious about reducing plastic, the amount of waste that's created in the beauty world. And also by taking recommendations from him, I find that I'm wasting less because I can find out what products are worth spending money on before I buy them. So if you're interested in improving your skin, definitely a good one to check out. The next people on my list, it's a duo, and they each have different channels. So the first one is Harris and her husband Johnny Harris. I started watching Harris one day with Trevor, actually, because he somehow came across one of her videos. She does a lot of travel content, and I really clicked with her personality. I thought she was really, you know, fun and cute and quirky. I didn't watch any more of her videos for a while until more recently, and I just really enjoy her. She's all about being authentic. You'll notice that's something I've said about a lot of these YouTubers, so clearly that's what I connect with the most, is people who are really authentic. But the thing about is that she talks a lot about her mental health struggles. Her kind of tagline is feelings, so she has a whole merch line with the word feelings on it. She has a new merch line that says, "I'm not here to make you comfortable," which is really cool because it's all about being your true self and not being too hung up on what other people think or how you should act to make someone else feel less uncomfortable. And those are both things that I struggle a lot with, so I find that her no nonsense approach to those topics really does give me some new perspectives. Also, I find she's just really funny and she's cute. Her husband and her make beautiful videos, very cinematic. They include a lot of like drone content. They're travel videos, which obviously we haven't been seeing any travel videos lately, but before the pandemic, she put out a lot of travel content. So I've gone back and watched some of those older videos, and it's just awe-inspiring for me to see the possibilities with how to make beautiful, compelling videos. And just even like her editing style and her use of music to set the mood. When I was thinking about starting my YouTube channel and how I was going to handle all of that with like equipment and learning how to use editing software and music, I referenced her videos a lot in my mind, thinking, okay, what would Iz do in these situations? How does she make them beautiful and compelling? And her husband Johnny Harris actually worked for Vox for many years and is a journalist. And his entire career for a long time was making really compelling videos about political topics, and he had a travel show that was like more of a political spin on travel. His content is really awesome too, and I definitely suggest that you check them both out. They do a lot of videos together because there's crossover in their content, and obviously they're married and they display a lot of things about their life. Does a lot of vlogging style videos, especially lately since the pandemic. So she includes her husband in a lot of her videos, and they recently just did one that was all about like a Q&A for them and their marriage, which I really find fascinating. It's definitely a duo that you want to check out. The next channel I want to recommend is called Spain Speaks, and Stuart, the host of that channel, is an Australian man who has lived in Spain for over 20 years, and he is located in Madrid. We kind of found his channel one time. Trevor and I were at some point last summer looking for some information about something in Spain. I can't quite remember what, but something to do with how to move there. And his video came up in the YouTube search, and we've kind of been watching his videos on and off since then. And Stuart has really been a big source of knowledge for us as far as what it's like in Spain and how in the process of moving there. He has been creating videos every day since the first day of the pandemic, which is unbelievably inspiring to me that somebody can even manage to pump out that many videos. But essentially his channel right now is a good source of news and information about the state of affairs in Spain during the pandemic. So I'm finding it really helpful, and every day he gets on and talks about the news headlines, and he does some translating of news articles, and he talks about what it's like and how things are changing in Spain during the pandemic. I really appreciate that it's one source of the true, like, on the ground perspective from a Spanish expat. That gives a different spin on his content that I find really helpful. His content lately has been very specific to the coronavirus and the pandemic in Spain, but he has other videos that prior to the pandemic were all about traveling around in Spain and different aspects of the Spanish culture. And he's also just recently done a new series that talked about what it was like when he first moved to Spain compared to now. His video series is about the book that he used as a reference tool when he first moved to Spain, and he's going through the book and talking about what it was like in 1994 when that book was written as compared to how it is now. I find it really helpful and interesting, so worth checking out. So my next choice that I want to talk about is Dr. Simi Adedeji, and I am probably completely butchering her name, but Dr. Simi is how she introduces herself on her YouTube videos. She has done a lot of videos on women's health issues as well as skincare issues. She describes herself as a former surgeon, a GP, and a cosmetic doctor. And I just really like the style of her video. She goes really in depth in her videos about different topics, including things like laser hair removal, yeast infections, period issues, ingrown hairs, discharge, like all these topics that we as women face, and really dives deep into them with a lot of no nonsense but very, very helpful health information. And I'll admit there's been a few videos I've watched of hers that gave me a lot of insight on something I was struggling with and helped me decide if it was something that I would need to see my doctor about. So I really find that it's helpful for her to be normalizing a lot of these issues and helping people navigate what's problematic and what isn't. Her way of presenting the content is really straightforward and done in layman's terms, but also she includes the medical information that you would need to help navigate these issues on your own. So I find her so helpful, and I definitely suggest checking her out. She's based in London, so she has an adorable British accent, and the way she pronounces some things are a bit different than how I pronounce them as a Canadian. So there's a few times that I've had a little chuckle, but I just adore her personality, and she's an amazing, powerful, strong, educated woman talking about issues that we all deal with. The last couple of people I want to mention are some of my favorite people in the photography community. I do follow a number of different photography channels, but there's two in specific that I love the most. First one is Omar Gonzalez, and he is based in New Jersey. He's a Fujifilm user, so he shoots with a Fujifilm X-T20 and an X-T3, I believe. He has different Fuji cameras, and I found his videos when I first invested in my new Fuji equipment, and I was looking for some information on the best ways to set up my settings on my camera, and I found his channel, and I really enjoy watching his videos. I find him really funny, and I almost catch myself thinking sometimes that he has a little bit of a Jim Carrey vibe, because he's doing all kinds of accents and making jokes and just kind of being silly in his videos, but it makes it so entertaining. I also like that because he's a photographer, his production quality is really high, and he does a good job on making really good, like, to the point videos. Even though he adds in some humor, his videos are also not too long, so he really edits them down to just like the meat and potatoes, which I also appreciate. And I like that he's constantly reviewing new Fuji equipment. He does vlogs where he goes out and does shooting. He does editing videos. He's done lots of videos on video production, which I've found very helpful using Fuji equipment myself. Omar is good for a laugh and for knowledge. And the second one is Andrew and Denae. They are also Fuji users and they shoot professionally. Omar does too, but Andrew and Denae are professional wedding and event photographers. That's a husband and wife duo. And the channel primarily features Andrew, but I know he brings Denae on often as well. And I really like his style as well. It's a much more artsy, kind of dark sort of feel. Andrew and Denae live in Utah, and Andrew's thing that he loves the most is doing what he calls rural decay photography. So he goes out into very abandoned looking places. He loves photographing buildings that are falling down and old rusting cars in fields and old falling down signs in the middle of the desert. Like, he does a lot of desert photography in the Utah landscape. It's so different from any photos I could do because that's not what it looks like here, and we just don't have the same kind of environment. But I also really appreciate his reviews on equipment, because when you're investing in photography equipment, it can be very expensive. So it's really nice to hear from some people who use Fuji equipment professionally every day to give their reviews on what are the best products to buy. Also, Andrew has an interest in film photography, which is something I'm trying to learn a little bit more about. So he also has content relating to that, and I think he's actually working on putting out a course for film photography. And he's also currently running a film photography contest with, I think, 11 other YouTubers, and it's called Film February. And the whole concept is that you would shoot a roll of film and send it into an address that he's provided, which is for a photo lab. This lab will process your film. Each YouTuber will pick their favorite roll of film, and I really find this a fun concept for a photography contest, because they're not judging you based on a couple of photos that you have hand selected. They're judging you based on an entire roll of film that you haven't even seen before you submit it. Each of them will use their own criteria to choose their favorite. It makes it a little bit more of a wild card, and like, I just think a really fun way. And at the end of it, you'll still get your scans of your photos back, so you'll know what photos you actually took. I'm really thinking that I'm gonna participate in this, so I dusted off one of my film cameras the other day, and I'm gonna go at some point in the next couple weeks and try to shoot a roll of film and send it in and see what happens. So wish me luck on that. So I feel like I've covered off quite a few different types of YouTube channels, and hopefully something that I've mentioned resonates with you to go check it out. All the links will be in the description box below to either the channel or a featured video that I really like from each person. If you have any questions about any of the YouTubers that I've mentioned, definitely drop a comment below. And tell me also, who are your favorite YouTubers? When you check out YouTube, who do you look for? What types of channels do you like? Do you have anybody that you love watching that you think I should check out? Because I'm always interested in finding new channels and broadening beyond just the same things that I tend to watch the most. I really appreciate you checking out this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!